I fucking did that. It's been a long day today. It felt like a whole week in a day. It's only Monday too. Went and seen, I wanted to say Jumanji, Minecraft movie over the weekend. It's basically an hour and a half of Jack Black being himself. The visuals were cool, and I feel like if you're into the game, if you play it, it would have been really cool. But other than Steve, every character in that movie was redundant. Like, that whole plot could have run without them being there at all. Yeah. And I still got beef with Jack Black. Because last year, my missus got us tickets to see Tenacious D. And 3 days before the gig, Jack quit the band because Kyle made a dumb comment. Fuck that motherfucker. Like, they've even got songs about it, you know? They want to talk about worshipping the devil, and Kyle quit the band, and then Kyle makes one, like, I guess out-of-pocket remark. You quit the whole fucking thing. Yeah, got me wondering, like, who is the real Jack Black? Because he's like the same guy in every movie. He's got the same moves. He's like that drunk uncle you can always rely on to like be the life of the party, but he got like 5 tricks and he does all of them every time. But everyone still cheers. But I wonder who that guy is actually underneath all of that. Because that can't just be him all the time. Like, oh, imagine if he come out on a list, eh? Oh no, everyone would be devastated. Not Jack. Not Kung Fu Panda. Oh no. You know, I was thinking about today, being a shy peer. I get shy when I pee. Like, fellas, you ever get there? You're at the urinal, and as much as you try, you just can't piss if there's someone right next to you. I had that one year. It was my birthday, and we were out in town, and I went into this club purely, the night was done, but I went into this club purely to use the toilet, and there was 3 urinals, and there was a guy in this one, the second one was free, and the third one was like busted and overflowing and like feral. So I went to the second one, pulled my dick out, and I just stood there like trying to piss. Just thinking like good piss thoughts to get it flowing. And then I noticed after a while that the guy next to me was having the same trouble. He couldn't piss either. And then a third guy enters and sees the busted urinal, and he's like, oh, it's broken. And then he looks at both of us and he's like, can one of you piss or fuck off? So I frustratedly put my dick back in my pants and left, still basting. Yeah. And that ain't fair. That ain't fair that anyone should feel that way. That full of pee. What are some good reflections? I don't know. I've been thinking about family lately. Like, I guess it's a topic for everyone to ponder on, you know. What is family? What does that look like? Who is that? How do they impact you or affect you positively or negatively? And I'm starting to realize that my family is like, it's so much broader than I thought it was, but maybe some relationships need fostering, you know, like, I don't know, we all got those relatives that we think of, or, you know, we know they're there, but maybe we don't reach out, just Then all of a sudden maybe they could pass, or you never know. You never know what could happen. So yeah, it's good to reach out to family and or friends, because friends are family too. Like it's like that whole Bible quote about the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Like your fellowship with your peers and your bros, that's so important for you, for your mental health, for your just for your all round well being, is having some good friends around you. Because friends are different than family. They become your family, but they're different. Like because that's someone you've chosen. Whereas like the people that you kind of just appear with, they might not necessarily get you, or they might not necessarily. Stop texting me right now. I don't know. You know what I mean? The family you get aren't the family you have to have. And I feel like some people never realize that, but it's true, like if the ones that bring you up aren't bringing you up, you know what I mean? Then they're doing you a disservice, You need to be brought up. You need, and you need to bring others up. Like, you don't want to tear no one down. Because that it's damaging, if you're torn down, especially in those formative years, they can have devastating consequences. But then equally so, if that cycle's repeated and you bring those around you down, you ain't learned nothing. You ain't learned nothing. And maybe that's what it's all about, what you learn. But I wonder that too, like, people who, no offense, but if you got your nose stuck in a book all day, like, what is that knowledge doing for you? If it's, I don't know, like, so it also depends on the type of reading, like, if you're reading for educational purposes, I guess that's different, like, you are actively educating yourself, but if you're just, like, reading for enjoyment, I don't know, what does that do for you? Because I find myself slowly going off TV and movies, like, I don't really have the patience to. I'll have to book out a time and be like, I'm gonna watch this movie. Like, I've been wanting to watch RoboCop again. It's one of my favorite movies. I love RoboCop. But yeah, I've got to schedule it in. I've got to make an appointment for Robo. Robo wants an Oreo. Yeah, that was a reference from, apparently they got that behind the scenes when they were doing RoboCop. Peter Weller, who played RoboCop, was like method acting as RoboCop the whole time, and one of the production assistants had like a handful of Oreos, and he was talking to RoboCop. RoboCop's like, Robo wants an Oreo. And the production assistant's like, Peter, it's just you and me, like, you're not RoboCop. And then he apparently turns around, RoboCop, and he's like, Robo wants an Oreo. Like, starts screaming and they were at the top of this, I don't know what it is. The final scene in RoboCop where that bro gets hit with the toxic waste. That's such a good scene. Hey Bradley, is there any way for you to make like a little screen in the screen of, like, say, a clip from YouTube?
Maybe.
Alright, well, if it is just for this section of the cast right now, I just would love it in the corner playing that little scene from RoboCop. I'll tell you what I mean later. That would be rad, eh? If it was like right there. and you were looking at it right there. Imagine there was a box right there playing Robocop, and the dude gets hit with the toxic waste. If you know it, you know. If you don't, you'll see. Or you won't. You'll never know. Or you will. Wait, I'm confusing myself. Yeah, what else? I've been taking some notes. I was, not that one. Had a note, and we did a Friday cast, but don't know if we'll put that one out. It was just a shorty. But, I kind of had a little bit of a rant about some post I seen online. It was saying basically there's footage of Hillary Clinton doing some awful shit, and it just really upset me. And yeah, and I wrote notes about it. I was like, "Fuck you! If you're a pederast, like I'll fuck you up." But might have a quick story, and then we'll call it an evening. So long time ago, found online a 7-seat spa for it was a really good deal. It was like maybe $600 for this massive, it might have even been a 10-seater spa. Like, this thing was massive, and got it for a steal. I was like, yo, man. So where I was living at the time, there was no side access to the property. There was only like the front yard and the backyard. But a tier above our backyard was like our back neighbour's driveway. And then a fence in between. And bought the spa for these people, got all the bros around to help. There's like 12 of us. And and so, we managed to get it on the trailer, all good, get it strapped down. It's like a little, touch and go, getting it to our house, but, for the most part, it goes pretty well. So we, talk to the neighbours, and we get it reversed up the rear driveway, leading to our backyard. And so, there's 12, and I think even by this point, maybe even 15 of us, mahiing this fucking massive spa. And we couldn't pull it apart at all. There was no water in it, but just the fiberglass shell itself, all of the timber paneling on the sides, and, whatever the fuck else is in a spa. This thing was massive, hundreds of kilos, and we were, gassing ourselves. One bro almost got impaled on our, on what's the current diverter, earthing rod. So we had an earthing rod poking out the ground. It's essentially just a metal stick sticking out the ground, and he fully almost fucked himself up on that. There's a bit of blood, a lot of bad language, but we got it in the end. And as soon as we got it in there, realized that it took 3-phase power, and it was going to cost $1,000 to get it wired in. So that spa just sat there for a long time, until kind of conceded finally, and was like, look, I ain't got the money to get a sparky to wire this all up. Let's just use it as, I guess, a pool for now. So after having this lid closed on it for, a good few months, I was like, all right, we'll use it as a pool, summer's coming up. Took the lid off, and a fucking ant's nest was in there. You ever see the episode of Rick and Morty where it's Million Ants Man? It was like that. It was like Million Ants Man just hanging out in the spa. And, oh God. And I'm not one of those people who can smell ants, but if you are someone who could, you would have had a straight up seizure from that. There's just so many ants. And, conceded, called the bro Damo, called the bro Jimmy, got them over. We hacked the spa to bits with saber saws. We loaded it in a trailer. We took it all to the tip, and then we took a couple of tabs of acid and had a trip for the rest of the night. And that's my story about spas. And in hindsight, I feel like a lot of my stories are like why I don't do things now. Like people ask, oh, do you play golf? And I said, yeah, I went to play golf one time when I was 7. Went to play with my grandpa, and the first hole, first tee, I took a step closer to see how you are supposed to hit the ball, and got caught in his backswing, broke my nose. We didn't end up playing golf, but we got ice cream, so that was cool. But never played golf since then. Yeah, anyway. What's our time like, Bradley?
16 minutes.
Not bad. I'm slowly getting better at filling the time with whatever nonsense is in my head. But it's also a work in progress. Probably notice I'm smoking these cigarettes. Well, we're all human. But it is true what I say about accountability. Even if I can't take that advice myself, it doesn't make it any less true. Like, you're only accountable to you, and if you make goals and you want to achieve them, you will if you want it badly enough. But like, you're the biggest hurdle you're gonna have to get past. You're the biggest hurdle that you're gonna have to get past on the journey to you. Alright, what's another story? I was just looking up at my guitars actually and thinking. So I remember years ago, so there's this concert called G3, and it stands for guitarists times 3, essentially. And it's usually Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, and then a third guitarist, and it changes each time. But they had, I think, maybe like a 1992 performance, or like a G3 in 1992. But that album, man, like Joe Sach, Steve Vai, and Eric Johnson. Magic. Anyway, G3 came to Wellington when I was in my late teens, and a couple of my friends got tickets to go see it. I didn't have no money, so I wasn't going to go. But the day before the gig, Steve Vai's guitarist, was holding like a tutorial, or just like, I guess, like a little masterclass, and we managed to get tickets to that. So we hung out there for like 5 minutes or so, but then could hear that Joe Satriani practicing in the auditorium. And so we kind of broke away from the group, stuck around for a bit. There's 3 of us, and finally we found an open door, and we went down and had front row balcony seats, probably like 6 meters away from where we were sat. Joe Satriani was there playing his guitar. He'd just started playing Always With Me, Always With You. And Steve Vai was in the front row. Only person in there was Steve Vai and us and Joe Sach playing. And Steve Vai looked up at us, and I gave him the thumbs up. He gave me one back. And I was like, yes. And then the security came down, and they were cool enough to let us like watch that one song. So I wasn't even salty I didn't get to go to the gig, because that was like, we had our little private screening. And And if you ain't heard that song, Always With Me, Always With You by Joe Satriani, magic. Off of the album Surfing with the Alien. Also, fantastic album. Yeah. I've been listening to a little bit more music lately. I kind of ebb and flow with it. Sometimes I'll listen to podcasts. Other times I'll just listen to lots of music. But, yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm starting to feel hungry with music again. Like, I want to find a different sound. I feel like I've had a lot of the same music, a lot of the same suggestions from Spotify for a while. But, that was what was so cool about finding Otoboke Beaver last year. They're Japanese like punk band. It's these like 4 cute kind of bubblegum looking girls, but they play like hardcore punk, and they're rad. And they kind of like reignited that passion that I got for music. But yeah, I feel like I've kind of got that feeling again. Like I want to find something, something that just hits, And sometimes it happens, but yeah, it's hard to find that real emotive music, because especially if you're not really sure what you're looking for or what kind of feeling that you're wanting to emote, Oh, I finished my coffee. Yeah, listen to music, stay off the drugs, be kind to each other, call your parents. Quit jerking off. Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there. Good night.